whatever could happen. Always have a backup, always have a contingency plan.
Meetors, 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 Meetors. Meet creators with Pixani. This is a space to show all creators of Central Florida in English and in Spanish.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for another episode of Meetors, Meet Creators with me. I'm Pixani, a photographer here in Orlando, and we are today with Jace, who is a very great graphic designer, art director, and has been working for the last 15 years within Central Florida area. Can you introduce yourself, Jace?
Yeah, my name is Jace. I'm a lot of things, really. I guess it started out, I started doing graffiti in high school, which turned into doing graphic design as a start of my career back in 2006. And then I've just worked my way up from being a graphic designer, being an art manager, being an art director, being a creative director. Right now I'm the brand manager at a custom screen printing company. We deal mainly with youth groups and stuff, so we do a lot of their t-shirts, and then we also have a content team that pushes out content for that type of market too. So, and then on the side I do photography, just to keep, I just like being able to do everything, so I can do logos, design t-shirts, I do some illustrations, photography clearly, and then videography a little bit here and there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You do everything.
Yeah. I don't like to
and
be
you
bored.
also edit.
And I also do some editing, yeah, for sure.
Within all this, within all these things that you do in your life that you have done, which one is the one that you most enjoy?
Learning. Over everything that I do and that I've done, I learned a lot of it on my own. I learned to do that when I was in art school because I don't know. Some of my homeboys that I did graffiti with, they had started going to the art school first, and then they told me yo, you can come to the art school and kill it. And I really didn't want to do graphic design. I wanted to do culinary arts at first. Okay. So they told me that there
what made you change?
Well, yeah, and they told me that there was a culinary arts program, but then when I looked at it, I was just this kind of looks cheesy, So I was already I was already starting Photoshop. We had a couple of hack copies from my cousin. He gave me because back then it was CDs, so then you just burn the CD and then you just give it to everybody. I think that was Adobe Photoshop 3 or something like that. So very, very early. Started working with Photoshop, and then I looked at the graphic design program, and then I liked it, so I went on from there. And I was failing my first couple classes, just because I wasn't really paying attention or I really didn't care. But one day, something just hit me where I was just I really need to just get on board with this and be the best that I can be. So what I would do is whenever we had projects, or one of the things that I would do is whenever we had projects and then they called for you have to make an ad or something. And back then there was no such thing as iStock photo, or you couldn't go online and grab images. You had to go through these books called stock photography books, and they had CDs in there with all the photos, and you would just pick them. So during my breaks, in between classes, I would go to the library, and then I would just start scanning photos of things that I think that I would need, right? But then that just started to kind of help me learn a lot more about what I'm doing and how the graphic design industry works. Some of my friends that went to school there my friends that went to school there before me, they were just telling me yo, this is how you should be doing things or whatever. They were just guiding me along the way. So I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot from my teachers. And then once I had this capacity of knowledge, just a baseline of how to do things, I'm okay, this is simple. All you got to do is just come up with, get challenged with something, and then you've got to figure out how to meet that challenge.
How to
So
accomplish.
yeah, how to accomplish things. So learning across the board, across all the disciplines that I have, is probably the best thing about just being in this field and being in this career. There was a point in time, I don't know, probably last year, I had all these projects and I had to learn so many things. I had to learn how to develop things for the websites or develop style guides or whatever. And then I went through it and then I accomplished all those things. And then at the end of it all, it's just like, I'm pretty sure if I went back to school to be a doctor, I could be a doctor. Because all it is, once I realized all it is just like putting your head in a book, doing research, remembering it, and then applying it. And then you just take that and do it with anything and everything that you do. You can accomplish anything. You know what I mean? So one of the things also that I do as a hobby is I'll do woodworking. So I've learned how to build furniture for my home. Instead of buying an entertainment center that everyone has. Yeah. Yep. So I learned how to build that. And especially nowadays, today in this world where there are so many resources like YouTube and the internet and Reddit, Instagram, everywhere, you can learn so many things easily now and do whatever you want to do. It's just all application at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have done a lot of things. You have learned a lot. What else? What else do you think you still need to try?
Accomplishing things. And I heard this quote one time on some movie where an artist is never done with the work. They just stop working on it. Right? So
Okay.
yeah, so
I've never heard it before.
yeah, it was a movie, I think it was from Colombiana. And then the main character went into I guess it was her boyfriend's apartment, and he was an artist, and she was looking at this piece which looked finished, right? It was an art piece that looked finished, and then she's like, "This looks good," and he's like, "It's okay." And she's like, "This is really great," or whatever. I love that something along the lines I love that you finished it already, whatever. And he's like, an artist's work is never finished. We just stop working on it. So that kind of resonated in my head to where, as artists, you're always trying to get to perfection. It's got to be the perfect piece. And everything that I was doing in the early parts of my career was trying to attain perfection. Throughout the later parts of my career, I started to realize that perfection isn't key. It's being excellent. You know what I mean? Mm. So, if you try to attain perfection in anything and everything, you're never going to get it. And you'll never get it, and people will never get it.
You're going to feel frustrated.
Yeah, and you're going to feel frustrated. Yeah, so...
Because that happened to me before. I was looking for perfection, or I felt that I wasn't ready to start something because it wasn't perfect. Mm-hmm. And until I realized I'm just getting frustrated about it.
Yeah, exactly. That too, and then even starting sometimes, what you just mentioned, you think about a project that you want to get done, and it's okay, cool, we can do it, but there's so many steps to that project, to working on it, just even getting started. So I think for me, and I've been thinking about this heavy for the past couple of weeks, where I'm I want to finish things now. I want to do a big project and finish them. I've got tons of little projects that I've started. Some of them I've finished, not to perfection, but I finished them. And the reason I came to a finishing point was because within that time frame, I learned something. And I'm cool. As long as I start and then get to a point that I've learned, I'm done. But of course, clearly, I want to finish things. So I get it to an end point to where I'm okay, I'm done working on it, but I learned this new thing, or I learned these 3 new things, which just helps me in my career, because then, or in any project that I do, because then I take that learning and then I can apply it in other disciplines or other aspects of my life.
This episode is thanks to our sponsor, Secret Art Studios, located in St. Cloud, Florida. This is a place for creators where you can simply do your photography, videography, or podcasting. Simply type secretartstudios.com on your browser or at Secret Art Studios on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You know, like with you, I feel like when you always say something, I'm learning.
Oh, good.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
It's like I'm learning. You always have something great to say. Like, no, just for, great and beautiful. It's like something deep that we need to hear sometimes to be able to grow.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna start playing.
Okay.
This is it's like a little challenge.
Yeah.
There is 3 cups right here, 3 shots, little shots. 2 of them are water, 1 of them is tequila.
Okay.
So you're gonna pick one, I'm gonna pick one.
Okay.
And whoever takes the alcohol needs to answer an awkward question.
Okay.
With the alcohol.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You pick first. Okay. This one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Water.
Ah, water and water. Okay. So we
Refill?
we both win.
Okay.
Now, let's do this. I'm gonna ask you a question, no awkward,
Okay.
and then you are able to ask me a question as well.
Okay.
That's fair?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. And then later, if you wanna take the tequila, you can.
Yeah. We should both take the tequila then.
For what?
Just because we both won.
Oh yeah. For sure. Okay, so let me think. What is your biggest dream right now?
I think it is to. I never thought about it, and it's hard for me to say, but I think it's to kind of just own my own business at this point. Like, I've learned a lot in my career, and especially in the past 4 years, learning like the logistics and learning about how businesses are built. And I've been on the front lines of helping the company that I'm with now become like this really successful business. And we weren't even really trying, like we were trying, but we didn't, because there was so much to do, we couldn't attain the perfection, like the actual vision. We got it to like 90%, and then we launched things, and it's like, okay, cool, it became successful. And I think that's grand. But yeah, I think starting my own business or working with someone to be in a business with that has the same vision, that's what it is. No, my answer's changed. I want to work with creative professionals, like really creative professionals. I've kind of been solo this whole past 15 years, where I've been doing and learning a lot of things on my own, but I've kept myself in a box. So now I really, really want to work with people that are super creative, that have ideas, that are relentless in working, and have a really great work ethic, but they have to have like this thirst for being
Success.
dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
To accomplish things, and like instead of just taking like product photography, be like, take the best product photography. And it's not even about having people want your photography. It's just about like being the best for yourself, and then leveling up from there. So I think that would be my dream right now as of this moment. And it's kind of been probably like the past month or so, which I never thought I would do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you ask me something.
Is this an awkward question or just a regular question?
Then whatever question you want.
If you could pack up and leave today to live somewhere else, where would it be and why?
Whatever place, like no
No matter.
anything.
Yeah. You have all the resources to get there. Money, travel,
Okay.
you have a home, and you get there, you have, you know what I mean?
I have the answer for that.
Yeah,
Bali.
Bali.
Yes.
Why?
That's my dream destination.
Yeah.
I love traveling.
Okay.
I have visited a lot of places
Okay.
in the world.
Yeah.
Mostly, well, all of them in America, South America, and North America. But Asia is like a dream.
Yeah.
And within all places in Asia, Bali is a place that, as I've been researching and watching videos and movies and a lot of things, it's like a dream place. Not because it has many, things, or I love nature.
Yeah.
And what I see is nature over there is like magic. It's so big. I don't know. I think that's my dream place.
What kind of lifestyle would you have there?
How do I say that in English? I don't care about material things. I will just have a random house, very small, as long as it's close to the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have coconuts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care about anything else. I'm coming from a place that is very pure.
Yeah.
And even with that, people is who made the difference.
Yep.
You're able to find anything.
Yeah.
Close to you.
Yeah.
For me, it's more important be mindful and to be in a place that I can feel peace.
Yeah.
That's it. For the rest, I can keep traveling if I want to get to other places.
Yeah.
But I actually want to be maybe for my retirement or something in Bali or Brazil.
Okay.
That's my second place that I'm so happy when I'm there.
Right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Answer.
Yeah.
I answered your question. And I know I feel awkward.
Yeah, seeing
and
that, you know how it feels.
Yeah, and I have to answer. Now I'm going to challenge your time.
Sure.
Since you are an art director, I'm not going to make you do any art right now because we don't have the time for it. But I'm going to just tell you a situation and then you give me your input as an artist.
Yeah.
Let's just think that you are in your company and you need to do a photo shoot.
Okay.
And the photo shoot is for, let's say, it's for a brand that is very big, the biggest in the United States.
Yeah.
And you're gonna do their photo shoot for the new collection.
Okay.
And you have a model, which is amazing, she's great, and she's gonna be just herself. You're gonna do all the collection with her, all the clothing, everything is for her. And then the photo shoot at 2 p.m. And at 1:55, she says that she's not coming. Okay. That she just texted one friend that is coming for her. Okay. Because she's feeling sick. Sure. And when this lady gets to the place where you have everything ready, you have a team, in your shoulders. This lady is not gonna work. How do you solve that?
Why wouldn't she work?
Maybe it's the completely opposite from the original model.
Okay. And this is for a big company? I'd find someone that would work then. Like if we had a talent that was scheduled and they were very specific to this talent, whether it was their look or their style, I would just, and she gave us someone else, I wouldn't even really allow that, because by that time there would have been a contract to say, hey, we're contracted to work at this time, we're contracted to work on this project together, and if you don't make it, it's not like, hey, we said like you can give someone in, or you can send someone to fill your spot. but realistically, if it's a company that's that big, and if it's and the campaign is that big, actually, to be honest, whether big or small, there would be a plan B. Like, I would make sure there's a plan B. I would make sure that if this talent couldn't make it, we have a backup talent, so that the shoot can go on, so that the project can move forward. Snoop Dogg has this saying, and I've lived by it for so long. And I saw it like on Instagram or whatever, but I think he was being interviewed. It was probably like a Martha Stewart or something, right? And then they were going into a segment about like cooking. And Martha said, Snoop, come on over here. Are you ready? And Snoop immediately said, I stay ready, so I ain't gotta get ready. Like, and I've always kind of kept that mantra where it's like, okay, like, always be prepared, always be ready. Kind of just like how we did this podcast. When I came in, I didn't realize we were doing a podcast, but I can't say no, or I shouldn't say no. You know what I mean? And here I am now, sitting in front talking to you. So I think it's always about being ready and always being prepared for whatever could happen. Always have a backup, always have a contingency plan. And that's something that I've learned throughout my career where, you know, phase one or idea one didn't work, or it can't work, or we thought about idea one for so long that we didn't think about what would happen, and we got stuck and we didn't have a plan B. So I've always told myself to have a plan B for whatever reason. And that's just with anything, you know, like whether it's like going somewhere or like going to the grocery store or buying something online. I always try to have a plan B. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
And it was the art director and the business owner answering my question. So you're more than ready to have your business.
Right on.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy the interview.
Yeah.
Little improvise.
Yeah, for sure.
And I hope to have you here again.
Yeah.
This was Meetors, and thank you so much to Jace.
Yeah.
Please let us know how can we find you, how can people can book any photo shoot with you, or even if they want to hire you as an artist.
Yeah, right now you can reach me on Instagram. It's at JVCEONER. That's really the primary that you can reach me at right now. And I just keep it to that, so then it's just one collection to get to. You can see a lot of my work on there, and you can reach me out through DMs on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love it. See you in the next episode of Meetors. Thanks to our sponsor, Secret Studios, you have heard Meetors with Pixani. Don't forget to listen to us in all platforms and to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Meetors. Bye-bye. Bye-bye was like too much, right?